Did you know Spanish is the only language where you're pregnant and not expecting? Yes, estoy embarazado means I am pregnant, not I am embarrassed. So careful with those false friends. Aren't languages just a barrel of laughs? They're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And sometimes what you get is a 9-month commitment when all you wanted to do was express your embarrassment. Now, wouldn't that be a story to tell? But don't worry, we're here to make sure such linguistic mishaps don't happen to you or your kids. Today, we'll embark on a fun-filled journey to learn Spanish. And by the end of it, you'll be able to distinguish between embarazado and avergonzado, even if you're woken up from a deep sleep. You see, Spanish is a beautifully expressive language, full of passion and rhythm. It's the language of salsa, flamenco, and telenovelas. It's the second most spoken language in the world and growing more popular every day. So, whether you're looking to add a new skill, planning a vacation to Spain, or just want to understand what your favorite Spanish song is saying, learning Spanish can open up a whole new world for you. But let's get something straight. Learning a new language is not about cramming words and grammar rules. It's about immersing yourself in the culture, understanding the people, and yes, sometimes making mistakes and having a good laugh about it. And that's the approach we're going to take in this video. We're going to make learning Spanish fun. We'll start with the basics, move on to some common phrases and expressions, dive into the nitty-gritty of Spanish grammar, and then challenge you with some fun exercises. And don't worry, we'll be there with you every step of the way, making sure you pronounce those Spanish words just right. So, if you don't want to end up pregnant when you're just embarrassed, stick around for some foolproof Spanish lessons. Starting with the basics, hola means hello and adios means goodbye. Sounds simple, right? Now let's add a few more to your vocabulary. Gracias is how you say thank you, and por favor means please. A fun one is mariposa, which translates to butterfly. It's quite catchy, isn't it? Moving on, buenos dias is good morning, buenas tardes is good afternoon, and buenas noches is good night. You're already on your way to greeting people at any time of the day. Then we have sí, which is yes, and no, which is, well, no. And if you want to ask someone how they're doing, you can say ¿Cómo estás?, which means how are you? Now let's put some of those words into action. Imagine walking into a cafe on a sunny afternoon in Barcelona. You greet the waiter with a cheery buenas tardes, then say por favor un café, that's please a coffee. As you leave, don't forget to say gracias for the service and adios to bid them farewell. Or perhaps you're in a park and you see a beautiful mariposa fluttering by. You can share your excitement with a friend by saying mira la mariposa, meaning look at the butterfly. See how these words can start to form sentences and create communication? That's the magic of language learning. And the beauty of Spanish is that it's a phonetic language, meaning you pronounce words as they are written. So, once you get the hang of the sounds, you're well on your way to speaking Spanish. Remember, practice makes permanent, so keep repeating these words until they become second nature to you. Now that we've mastered the basics, let's dive a little deeper. As we venture further into the vibrant world of Spanish language, we'll be discovering more complex phrases that can add colour to our conversations. So buckle up, because we're about to take our Spanish skills to the next level. First, let's tackle the phrase ¿Cómo estás? This is an informal way of asking, how are you in Spanish? It's a great phrase to use when you're catching up with a friend or meeting someone for the first time. Now let's say it together. ¿Cómo estás? Excellent. Remember, it's all about the pronunciation. The accent in Spanish can change the meaning of a word entirely. So, practice makes perfect. Next up we have estoy bien, gracias, y tú, which means I'm fine, thank you, and you? This is the perfect response to ¿Cómo estás? And a wonderful way to keep the conversation flowing smoothly. Let's give it a go. Estoy bien, gracias. Y tú? Fantastic. We're really getting the hang of this, aren't we? Now let's try ¿Qué haces?, which translates to what are you doing? This phrase can come in handy in a variety of situations, whether you're curious about what your friend is up to or you're trying to strike up a conversation with a stranger. Let's pronounce it together. ¿Qué haces? Brilliant. You're really starting to sound like a native speaker. Before we wrap up this scene, let's practice one more phrase. Te veo mañana, which means see you tomorrow. This is a great way to bid your friends goodbye in Spanish. Let's say it together. Te veo mañana. Well done. You're getting the hang of it. But don't stop here, we've got more to learn. So stay tuned as we continue our journey into the exciting realm of Spanish language. Feeling confident? It's time to test your Spanish skills with a quick challenge. We're going to give you a set of phrases to translate from English to Spanish. Ready? Let's dive into it. First off, how would you say, "Good morning, my name is," in Spanish? Pause for a moment. The correct translation is, "Buenos días, mi nombre es." Next, how about "I love eating apples"? Think it through. The correct answer is, "Me encanta comer manzanas." Moving on, let's try something a bit more complex. How would you say, "My sister has a beautiful red dress"? Give it a shot. The correct translation is, "Mi hermana tiene un hermoso vestido rojo." And now for the final phrase of our challenge. How about, "I will travel to Spain next summer"? Take your time. The correct answer is, "Viajaré a España el próximo verano." If you got all of these right, give yourself a pat on the back. You're well on your way to mastering Spanish, but if you stumbled on a few, don't be discouraged. Remember, language learning is a journey, not a race. The key to success is practice, practice, practice. And what better way to practice than with our daily Spanish lessons here on Spanish.Education. We also have a fantastic book, Spanish the Fun Way, available on Amazon, that can help make your learning journey even more enjoyable. And if you have kids, we offer 2 free live classes with a native speaker in our academy. To get started, just follow the link in the description. So how did you do? Don't worry if you didn't get them all right. Practice is the key. And remember, sharing is caring. So why not pass on the gift of knowledge and share this video with your friends? Let's make learning Spanish a fun and rewarding experience for everyone. Congratulations! You've taken the first steps towards mastering Spanish. We've had quite a journey today, haven't we? We kicked off with a fun start, introducing the vibrant world of Spanish to your little ones. We then dove into the basics, making sure to lay a strong foundation. We swam deeper into the language, exploring its nuances and beautiful intricacies. And finally, we took on the Spanish challenge, putting our newfound knowledge to the test. But remember, this is just the beginning. Teaching Spanish to toddlers, or any language for that matter, is a marathon, not a sprint. It's all about consistency and regular practice. So keep the lessons short, engaging, and most importantly, fun. Now, if you're serious about this journey and want to make learning Spanish a delightful experience, there's a fantastic resource you should consider. It's a book called Spanish the Fun Way, available on Amazon. It's packed with exciting and interactive activities that'll make each Spanish lesson something to look forward to. And here's the icing on the cake. If you want to give your toddler a real taste of the language, we're offering 2 free live classes with a native Spanish speaker at the Spanish.Education Academy. Imagine your child learning hola and adios from someone who's been saying these words since they were a toddler themselves. Exciting, isn't it? But the journey doesn't end here. For daily doses of Spanish lessons, don't forget to subscribe to Spanish.Education. Also, follow us on social media to stay updated with all things Spanish. And finally, if you found this video helpful, why not share it with your friends? After all, knowledge is a gift best shared. Encourage them to join this Spanish adventure. And who knows, you might just start a mini Spanish club of your own. So, as we say in Spanish, el saber no ocupa lugar. Knowledge takes up no space. So fill up. And until next time, keep the Spanish vibes flowing.
Thanks for tuning in. Craving more? Follow Spanish.Education across all social media for your daily dose of Spanish. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be sure to return tomorrow for another class. And if you're really keen, grab a copy of Spanish the Fun Way on Amazon. Who said learning a language had to be tough? Make it fun with Spanish.Education.